Kez Wickham St George is an international published author and also a renowned artist.
Great experiences start from little beginnings. What is a great experience for anyone? It could be going to buy a bottle of milk for you, and it could be climbing a mountain for me. That's what I term as great experiences. We all have them. It's how we proceed to talk about them and story tell. Like if I climbed a mountain, you'd hear me from the mountaintop. I've climbed a mountain. But if you went to get a bottle of milk and that's what didn't usually do that, then you'd come home and you'd say to your neighbours or your mates, I just bought a bottle of milk. It's a story.
So basically you can turn a mundane task into a short story?
Of course. Yeah, you choose animals, birds, fantails, and just storytellers. You watch a fantail, having a bath, that's a story. You can see the way they bring their family in, they keep all the other birds away. It's amazing. It's a story.
Do you find it fascinating mentoring seniors?
Well, that's the other thing I do is I mentor young writers and seniors as well. I just mentored an 89-year-old man on telling his story. Recently, as yesterday, I'm mentoring an international art judge on her story, and she was a bit of a wild woman. Just looking at her, I thought, what a dear little old lady. And she told me a story, and I thought, oh, you are a wild one, because it was like I didn't want her to stop about her life story. It was amazing. Her time in Malta and the Second World War was just amazing. So I encourage people to talk about themselves and tell their stories. Why not? Why not leave something for your family to think, oh, my grandma was a bit naughty, or my granddad travelled here, or why not?
No, that's so true. Everyone's got a story.
That's right.
Do you view writing as a cathartic experience?
My first book, White Wahine, which is being relaunched this year, was very cathartic for me. It was a story about my life in New Zealand, and it's not a pleasant story. When my husband read it and I reread it, I thought, that's a bit sad, but it really actually healed quite a few wounds for me, saying, okay, it's out there now. I just feel I'm a different person. You grow. When you write, you seem to grow. You think, I don't need that feeling anymore. It's gone. And that's what it does. When you write to heal, that's what it does.
It's much better to write than to have a few glasses of Chardonnay.
Oh, that's quite good too. Sit there with a red wine and think, I'm enjoying the story.
I think you'll have a few of those after you've published the book.
Actually, Carl, I don't drink. But yeah, look, people don't celebrate enough. And that's what I want to say to the people today. Celebrate. Celebrate your life. Celebrate. Go out there and have a cup of coffee. Go walk in the garden. Thank the universe that you're here. Celebrate. Everything. We're only here for a short time. Let's do something with it.
That's definitely a great thought for everyone to take inspiration from.
Oh, that's so deep for today. I'll have to go and have a rest.
Yeah. What gives you more satisfaction, mentoring up-and-coming writers or writing a novel?
As I mentor, I really don't have time to finish a book within less than 12 months. I spend a lot of time with young ones and the seniors, and I spend about 8 hours a week mentoring, either over the phone or face-to-face, like we are sitting now. And so writing really is, my passion for writing arrives at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I will get up and write till 6 and then go back to bed and have a sleep. That's when the real words come out, the words that I don't have to think about, they're just there. Yeah.
Do you have any habits like keeping an exercise book in every room in the house? Or
just beside the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I do wake up and I'm feeling a bit, I don't want to get up yet, it's too cold, or I just don't want to get up yet, I'll write notes down of the words that maybe I've dreamt of, or a scene I've dreamt of, or some call it a message. I get words. I get words given to me all the time. And, as a wordsmith, I roll those words around and think, that's a really good word. I often hear them on TV, especially on the gardening. The one that really made me step back and think, I've never heard that word, was fundacity. And it means bounty in the garden, I think, like using lots of manure in the garden. I think that's what it means. I haven't yet found that one out. But it made me stop and think, that's a word I've never heard before. And maybe I have, but I don't think I have. So yeah, that's what I do with words. They roll around in my head and I write them down.
Yeah, so that's where the inspiration comes from.
More or less, the stories of my life. Yeah, I've travelled a fair bit, quite extensively, and when people tell me a story, I think, aha, I've got a story. I just change names, dates, times and places, and I have a fabulous story. Yeah.
And replace names.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. Did you ever consider writing under a pseudonym?
No. No, I am who I am, and I'm very proud of my name. And so, and it has been suggested for a couple of things. I thought, no. I've already, this book is me, it's part of me, it belongs to me, my name goes on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like musicians. There's been some of the great artists kept their names, while others, still being great artists, they adopted a different stage name.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was interesting, like maybe they weren't proud of their name.
Maybe they, well, it's not so much proud of their name, but who's going to read this, who's going to react to it. And really and truly, I've had a lot of reactions about White Wahine, especially from family, and it wasn't pleasant. But it is what it is. I use my name. I put my name. If you're honest, you'll put your name to it.
Yeah, and your name is unique, so
That's
it's a good selling point.
And it's a good name. It's a good, strong Irish name. Irish Kiwi, yeah.
If you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would that be?
Run. Run for the hills. It's been a long journey, Carlo. It really has. My young writing self, there's that gold star. And when I was a kid, I used to dream of this red carpet. I was walking on a red carpet and people were applauding and I didn't know why. It was just a dream. And the other day I was told by a very wise lady, because I've always been waiting for that long red carpet to unfold before me and think, I've reached the peak. And she said, but red carpets come in many colours and many sizes. And I thought, that's brilliant. And I'm going to use it in the story. They do come in many sizes and many colours. So we never know, this could be a red carpet moment today. Who knows?
When did you first realise you wanted to be a writer?
Oh no, I've been writing since I was a child. Yeah.
Yeah.
That published 15 years. Yeah. So I'm an old author. Yes, I'm well experienced. Yeah.
So can you remember what you did with your first advance?
Oh, my first advance. I went to Bali. I took my husband to Bali. Yes, we did. The fares were cheap. It wasn't such a big advance. It was very minor, and it was more than what I was expecting. But to see what other authors got and what I got was a big difference. But I went to Bali, and I went with my publisher, and we actually launched a book over there. Yeah.
Wow, it's such a lovely place to launch a book.
Yeah, it is a lovely place. It wasn't very well received. I mean, they were there for the eat and the drinks, but yeah, I had a wonderful time. And so did my husband, so did my publisher. Yeah. We had a great time over there.
So what would you say to people who are thinking about writing a book or want to do any kind of writing and they haven't done particularly well at English at school?
Ooh, let me think. What would I say to people that haven't got a great education?
Yes.
Okay, start writing. There's people out there that'll help you. There's people out there like myself who say, sure, I'll help you. Sometimes, someone has to hold their hand up and say, I can help. So why not? Why don't we all do it? Why don't we say, I can help? And take them on board. It might not ever be anything great. It might not be published. It might not be the most ridiculous story you've ever read, but it's their story, not yours. And that's what people don't see. People have to write their own story. I meet so many people, especially the seniors, that haven't bothered. Oh, well, no one's interested. How do you know? Write me a chapter, let me see what I can do with it. And that's what I do. Because there's magic everywhere. You just have to tap into it.
So everybody's got a bit of writing genius in them.
I wouldn't say a writing genius, but everybody's got a story. We are, and that's the most important thing, Carlo. We are walking stories. Nobody realises that unless you're a creative writer. Nobody realises that. The young man editing, filming us at the moment, yourself, my husband, the next door neighbour, have all got their walking stories. I'm a walking story, my life, your life. You know, we need to note it down. Even if we don't do anything with it, note it down. Put it into cloud if you have to. Someone's going to retrieve it and read it. That's the way I see it.
Why is storytelling so important to everyday lives?
It is important. To me, you know, I'm very passionate about people finding someone with empathy that will understand that they just want to tell their story. They don't want to be the next movie. They just want to tell their story. And that's what I do. Mind you, if it was a movie, it would be good. I might make some money out of it. But, you know, but otherwise, that's the importance of being a writer, is you've told your story, you've told funny stories, you've told other stories, you've told children's stories, but at the background, and you've told your story, but at the background, try and help other people. And when you hold your hand out to other people, there's nothing nicer. Nothing nicer than knowing there is help.
Yeah, it's all about givers gain.
I suppose so. I've never looked upon it. It's a good saying, Carlo.
Yeah.
Givers gain, yeah.
I'd like to personally thank Kez for being part of the show, and yeah, definitely great insights shared.
Nice meeting you.
Same here.